Today's guest is Quan Pham. Quan is the founder and CEO of PI.Exchange, a data science and machine learning platform designed to make advanced machine learning accessible to everyone, even beginners, by enabling the creation of high-performance machine learning applications quickly and affordably without the need for coding. So, Quan, welcome to ROI from AI.
Thank you very much, Brad. Really appreciate the invitation to share my story with the audience today.
Oh, my pleasure. Oh, well, speaking of your story, you've got a background in engineering and now you find yourself working in the AI space. What inspired you to make that shift?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I started my career as a software engineer. By education, I did a bachelor in telecommunication engineering, but I spent most of my life working as a software engineering. And I jump across different area in the early part of my career. So started as a software engineer, then moved into cybersecurity, and then into a little bit on data management. And where I work for a couple of other company across like defense, government, and also some on the banking by manufacturing. I started to recognize that there's a strong need for machine learning AI, probably not as we see today over the last couple of years, but about 10, 15 years ago, the there was a real need there. And you know, back at that time, there was a lot of technical barrier for people who want to use this, right? Things complex. There's a lot of libraries. There's a lot of things that you need to connect together to get the whole things work. So that was the starting point where I recognized that like many people probably don't have the formal education or experience in the AI ML space or AI machine learning space, and they would find benefit if we have something that automated the whole process. That's where the whole thing starts.
Yeah, okay. So the whole idea is making AI more accessible. You're
Yep.
making AI without coding. Why did you think it was important to make it accessible in the first place?
I work with a number of engineers and software engineer mostly, and while they are very technical and brilliant guys, like a lot of them don't have like formal training in machine learning. And when you come into like statistical stuff, for example, many people, including myself, have like struggle with that. So so to make the whole thing accessible, we need to create, or I think there's a need to create, something that help people to achieve the same or similar outcome, without the need to jump through a lot of kind of like hurdle, as I mentioned earlier, like different libraries, like how to compare different model performance and all that sorts of thing. So I'm thinking about like how can we create some sort of a automation engine that can select the best performance model, and create all of the data pipelines and machine learning pipeline automatically for the user. So if a analyst or software engineer want to create something, they can basically go through some configuration steps, and the engine will automatically pick out the best performance model and create, all of the data preparation necessary for a particular use case. For example, like if you want to do demand forecasting, you don't have to worry about all sorts of like, data transformation and that sorts of thing. The engine will do the rest for you.
Yeah,
You just
wow.
focus on the objective.
So you're working with lots of different kinds of people and businesses. Do you have any use cases of people that have found success using PI Exchange?
Yeah, we do. So over the years, we work across. So take a step back. PI.Exchange offer three main product. The first one is we call it the Flexible Studio, which is a generic data science and machine learning platform that we just allow you to create highly customized data science and machine learning model. right? The second product is called Customer Insight Studio, and the third one is called Demand Forecasting Studio. And those are the two use case specific for, as the name suggests, demand forecasting, and also for customer insight, focus on churn prediction, customer lifetime value prediction, and customer segmentation. So for the today conversation, I'll probably talk about demand forecasting because that is one of the area that we find the most success so far, where we can not only showcase to the users that they can achieve very good return on investment, which is a topic for our conversation today, but also show how much like the power of automated machine learning and what and how it can be helpful to um, citizen data scientist users, right? Like user without a lot of data science and machine learning background to achieve a very good outcome and embrace the power of machine learning.
Yeah, it's a huge area to get into with traditional businesses as well, being able to future project. And the forecasting, I think, has been very pivotal for a lot of these medium sized businesses in particular.
Correct.
Within forecasting, what are some of the elements that the machine learning is predicting for these businesses?
Demand forecasting has been it's been there for decades, right? Even you can trace this back to, like many decades back, right? Since probably people think about logistics, think about like manufacturing and that sort of thing. So you need
Mm.
to make sure that you have enough stocks to support your production plan. You need to ensure that you have like you don't want to go overstocking, you don't want to go understocking to support your store and all the rest of things. So it has been around for many years. Problem with the current demand forecasting, I would say, is that despite that, like people spending hundred of like, especially look at like medium sized business, right? Um, People have the resource to spend some good amount of money and investment into their infrastructure. Like we're talking about ERP or CRM or supply chain management software, so on. Uh, the fact is that there's still a whole lot of people that's still using spreadsheet to do demand forecasting. Um, and the question is why is that, right? Why is you spend quite a lot of money into on of the expensive ERP and then you still go with like spreadsheet? It's go down to a number of different things. So you know ERP system and the like typically you know kind of like have a lot of capabilities, but they also very sometimes cumbersome as well. And if you need to customize things, you need to want to make things that like adaptive to your business is a little bit hard. So people will revert to spreadsheet because of a lot of flexibility, customizabilities, right? But the trade-off is you lack there's a lack there's lack of automation with spreadsheet. There's lack of processing capability. There's it's lack of uh, the technical complexity and the technical kind of like power in terms of like uh, sophisticated machine learning compared to sophisticated machine learning techniques, right? To do demand forecast. So you kind of like need to go with two kind of like school of thoughts or way, and from that perspective, PI.Exchange to the way that we look at it is our automated machine learning solution can offer the best of both worlds, right? So on one hand, we fully automated. We take in your data. We can do very well with like prepare your data, and through the data that we prepare, we can suggest the best possible machine learning solution to your business, and that machine learning solution is highly adaptive, just like with spreadsheet, right? To your business context, it's not a one size fit all kind of like model that we just grant somewhere and we take it and apply it to your business. We look at the data and we customize the engine, customize that model specifically to your for your business. And at the same time, it offer a lot of customizability that I'm going to show it to you later. So it is the best of both worlds for the users that choose to use our platform.
Hmm. Well, it sounds like there's a lot of businesses that are still feeling hesitant, and there's some barriers to actually adopting AI for their businesses, do you think it's mainly just people stuck in a traditional mindset and not really feeling like they're capable? What are these barriers for the average person when it comes to wanting to adopt AI into their businesses?
That's a great question. I think, if we kind of like look at 5 years ago, before the whole generative AI started, the mindset was, in my very opinion, the
Mm,
mindset was that AI ML is something a little bit mixed between kind of like fiction and like real technology, mainstream technology. And there's a lot of doubt from the decision maker about the actual values that they can get from AI, the AI data science project. Probably a typical mindset that we see everywhere back at that time was that people would think like, okay, data science and AI projects typically expensive, demand a lot of not just the money investment from the money perspective, but also like require a lot of human resource, right? Like you need to put together a big team. You need to, like put some investment into the infrastructure, like, IT infrastructure I'm talking about. So it,
mm,
it kind of like a huge endeavors to, and through that process, the value that they can get, the return on investment still uncertain. And, generative AI happen, it changing the I think one of the most significant thing is that it kind of like flipped the mindset a little bit here. And people started to recognize that, hey, we are moving into a new era of the AI evolution where things become much more adaptable, things much more mainstream, and there's no kind of like heavy endeavor. You can basically go out there and you can, embrace some of the AI, the benefit that's created by the AI evolution quite easily. And I would say in a fairly acceptable kind of like level of investment. And through that process, I think it benefit everyone. So if we look at it a little bit deeper into the very niche kind of like area of demand forecasting, I mean, demand forecasting typically is an area for demand planners, supply chain management people, right? And within that context, it's mostly in like what manufacturing, retail, wholesale operation, and a little bit maybe on sometimes logistic and transportation people as well. And those areas typically n- a little bit more conservative than other
mm,
segment or sectors where they're adapting AI. And so I think it is probably the right time because after some years of seeing the AI advancement, people become more open minded. And with the automation technology like PI.Exchange is building, uh, things are scalable, things are affordable, and the home project can be kicked off very easy. So it's like open up the whole new possibilities, and people become much more acceptable to give it a try.
mm. Yeah, you're right in that we're kind of mid evolution at the moment and the uptake might be slow. We have a lot of conservative people with these larger businesses, but we're definitely seeing AI democratize access to these productivity tools in particular. It's a very exciting space, and I'd love to know from you, as someone that kind of works on the ground in this space, where do you see AI technology evolving in the next 5 to 10 years or so?
This is a tough question, Brad, because I think there are different kind of like area where we look at it, in terms of like where things headings. I
Mm,
think from my perspective, first of all, over the last couple of years, we see that there's a lot of, I guess, what's the right word to call it? I don't know, but like competition in terms of like the model become bigger. You get like multiple like millions of parameters get into the model and get bigger and bigger, right?
mm,
Processings and data processing capabilities get bigger. Is up right now. Company like OpenAI or Meta or Google is really competing with like data centers and on the rest of it, right? And you also look at like So where we're heading, I think, we kind of like, there's a war for, general artificial intelligence. And top guys like Meta or Google or OpenAI, Anthropic try to drive toward that direction. The
Mm,
second thing that I'm thinking is that there's a huge competition for top talents in the AI/ML space, and people's all really try to snatch the best one for it. What does it mean for like businesses? I think it kind of like it will become harder for s- medium businesses to employ kind of like good data science talent, and the model shift from probably try to hire some people like that into try to use some service provided by AI company like ourselves, to so that like you can still access to the latest technology and the service offered by the best guy, but you not necessarily have to like employ those people, or try to find the work yourself. And the third thing that I'm thinking is that, of course, the cost and the barrier of entry. So the barrier of entry into this will be higher, but the cost for businesses, especially like small and medium businesses, to enjoy AI product, especially even like for product that like fairly niche like demand forecasting that we offer, it will become lower and more accessible over time.
Oh, I'll be very excited to see how it progresses. But yeah, I think you're right. The barrier for entry is probably the first thing people will notice changing over the next 5 to 10 years. But the name of the show is Return on Investment from AI. So, one thing I ask every single guest is, what is your biggest tip for a return on investment using AI?
The answer is still really much depending on specific use case, and like it will differ from one sector to another sectors, right? um for the purpose of the call today, if we talk about demand forecasting, I think the main things I would like to talk to the business, if you want to have a good return on investment, there's two things that we want to look at. Number one is that we want to look at a cultures where data governance is at the probably the top three or top five priorities. You want to have good data so that you can enjoy the benefit of AI/ML. And if you have good data in place, the cost to implement any AI project would be significantly lower, right? Even by today's standard, um, probably one of the very heavy lifting kind of component of any data science and AI project is collect data, prepare data appropriately, and that carry a significant cost for any project. The second thing that I also want to highlight is that business should have a clear objective and expectation in mind about what AI ML can bring to them. ROI, return on investment, at the end of the day is pretty much depending on the business objective, what they want to achieve, right? And how they would evaluate the potential value versus the investment that they put in. And we still not there yet with anything like general artificial intelligence. We more like so we will still basically have a real expectation, realistic expectation. Otherwise, it would also, that lead to a failure. And then I think, that is a second significant barrier for any businesses.
Mm. So, manage your expectations and use data to your advantage seems to be the
Yeah.
main takeaways.
The expectation rise also have a little bit of implication on, you have a clear business objective, right? So when you look at AI, what you try to achieve with AI, how is it gonna help your business? How is kind of like how do you gonna embrace that AI elements as part of your existing business workflows and everything? And if you have a clear objective, or you like when we work with customer, we normally the first step is a solution discovery workshop. So we spend a few meetings with them to understand their business. And even, they are small or medium or large, doesn't matter. Everyone somewhat different, right? They are somewhat different. And we will need to understand them so that we can give them a practical like advice about what objectives should be considered as realistic and whatnot.
Yeah, amazing. Well, it sounds like if you're a medium-sized business, PI.Exchange is a place to go to level up your business using AI.
Yep, thank you.
My pleasure. Well, Quan Pham, thank you so much for all the information today. I'm getting some ideas are percolating for my own business, and you're doing amazing work. I'm excited to see where it goes. So, thank you for all the insights today.
All right, really appreciate the invitation again, Brad, and yeah, happy to share the insights to your audience. So thank you very much.